matter what I see, it's not making sense. I have had people firing tweets and emails about the oral arguments of the court on gay marriage, and none of it makes any sense. I finally have a Bloomberg story here on that finally does make sense of it, but it took me about 20 minutes when it should have taken 10 seconds. And then I looked around at some other stuff, and I had some sound bites that don't make any sense to me. And when it doesn't make sense, it's hard for me to explain to you why I'm talking to you about something. For example, my instincts say, don't do this. But I'm going to do it anyway, just for the sake of illustration. The first two sound bites, did you remember, by the way, telephone number, you know who this is, it's El Rushbo, it's 800-282-2882. Do you remember back in February, there is a mayor's race in Stamford, Connecticut. Now, normally, that wouldn't be on our radar here. Nothing against Stamford, but we're bigger than that here at the EIB network. But what happened there is that the Democrat candidate for mayor accused me of endorsing the Republican candidate when I had not. But he went on to treat an endorsement by me as something that ought not be permitted in the United States. Because I'm so vile and so extreme. Well, it turns out I had not endorsed anybody in the race. I didn't know there was a mayoral election going on up there, and I had never heard of the two contestants. The Democrat is some clown named, William Tong. He's a state representative. And the Republican is a former lieutenant governor, Michael Fedeli. And the Tong guy, well, here, let's play the first soundbite. This is from WTIC, Eyeball TV, Fox Connecticut News at 4. And not to be confused with Fox Connecticut News at 4:30. Or Fox Connecticut News at 5 or 11. This was Fox Connecticut News at 4. And the info bay was Lori Perez. And this was her report.
Michael Fedeli announced his campaign for mayor of Stamford. He's already got his first endorsement. Rush Limbaugh, the controversial right-wing radio host who's made headlines for his argumentative statements, is publicly supporting Fedeli's candidacy. But Democratic candidate William Tong says Limbaugh's endorsement has no place in this election and is calling on Fedeli to renounce it immediately. Fedeli has not yet responded.
Well, Fedeli probably is clueless. This is back in February 26th. I did not endorsed anybody. I never do endorse in mayoral race. Don't endorse, period. The Tong guy was clearly in panic mode because an endorsement from me works. But then this info babe goes on to say, the controversial right-wing radio host who's made headlines for his argumentative statement. In the first place, I am not controversial to any of you. Every one of you listening, or 94%, you agree. There's no controversy here. At any rate, now I'm well known for my argumentative statements. I don't argue. I debate and win. Anyway, so this Fedeli guy is and everybody's running, whoa, an endorsement from Limbaugh. Well, we can't have that. Why, that's not American. That shouldn't be permitted. And then later on, everybody figured out that this Tong clown was absolutely, totally wrong. So Sunday morning, back in Hartford, WTIC TV's The Real Story, not to be confused with the half story. Not to be confused with the unreal story. This is their show called The Real Story. The guest is the Democrat mayoral candidate, this clown, William Tong. And during a discussion about Tong's idiotic belief that I endorsed his opponent, Fedeli,